Hello, my name is Apurva and this is my presentation for the midterm examination for the subject cloud computing. The topic for my today's presentation is cloud computing and its architecture. So before we jump onto the main part, let's just quickly discuss what cloud computing is. So cloud computing is the on-demand availability of computer resources, which includes data storage or cloud storage, you can say, or computing powers. So users don't have to actively manage all these resources. The resource management is directly done by the vendors themselves. Cloud computing relies on sharing of resources to achieve coherence, and typically they use a pay-as-you-go model. So if your demand is more, the demand of your IT infrastructure is more, then you can obviously pay more to get much better computational resources. And if the demand is less, then you can obviously pay less. So in simple words, cloud computing is for anything that involves delivering hosted service over the internet. So let's just quickly discuss what cloud computer architecture is. So cloud computing architecture is divided in two parts, front end and back end. In this diagram here, you can see that in front end, the client infrastructure is included, and in back end, we have various other components such as application services, cloud runtime, storage, and infrastructure. All these things are being managed by some management software, and they are secured by using some security measures. Front end and back end is connected by a bridge that we call as the internet. So cloud architecture is a combination of both SOA, which is service oriented architecture, and event driven architecture. Front end cloud architecture front end. So let's just quickly discuss what the front end of the cloud architecture means. So front end basically refers to the client side of the cloud computing system. The client side also has some client infrastructure that refers to the front end components. They contain applications or end user application or user interfaces which are required to access the cloud platform. For example, if you use a web browser to access the Amazon web page, then your web browser becomes your client infrastructure. The system on which you are using your web browser also becomes a client infrastructure. The homepage for that particular Amazon website becomes your front end, which basically connects to the backend itself. So this is the example of front end. Now backend. So backend refers to the cloud itself, which is used by the service provider. It contains resources as well as the vendors manage the resources and they provide security mechanisms so that data can be parsed from some storage spaces to your front end application. They include huge storage, virtual applications, virtual machines, traffic control mechanisms, and deployment models such as public cloud, private cloud, or hybrid cloud. So let's just quickly discuss the various components of backend. So the first component of backend is application. So application, it means that they provide the service in backend as per the client's requirement. So application, when I say application, I'm basically saying a end user application which users can use to access some services. So services in backend refers to major three types of cloud services like SaaS, which is software as a service, PaaS, which is platform as a service, and IaaS, which is infrastructure as a service. Runtime in backend, they provide methods for execution and runtime platform environment to the virtual machines. Storage in backend refers to flexible and scalable storage services and management of stored data. So we have, so you can say a virtual database for storing your data on top of your physical hardware. Infrastructure. So infrastructure in backend refers to our physical hardware and software components. So they can include servers, storage, network devices, which are hardware infrastructures, and virtualization software such as hypervisors, Hyper-V or KVM, which are software components. Management in backend refers to a particular piece of software that manages your application, services, infrastructure, and other security mechanisms. Security in backend refers to implementation of various security mechanisms, which is used to secure your cloud resources, system files, and infrastructure for end users. These security measures include deployment of intrusion detection system, firewalls, proxy servers, or even some malware detection engines. Now, the final thing is the internet. So, internet, as I said earlier, is the bridge that acts as a medium between front end and the back end, and they establish a line of communication between both of them. So in conclusion, we can say that cloud computing is a general term for anything that involves hosting, delivering hosted service over the internet. They mainly consist of front end and back end. The back end includes several components such as services, applications, infrastructure, management softwares, and security measures, etc. That's all for today's presentation. Thank you and have a nice day ahead.